Hi, thanks. When they asked me to do this talk, invited me to do this talk, gave me the opportunity to do this talk on Tuesday, I enthusiastically, like the song, said yes, and then immediately panicked when I was told I had to tell my entire life story in some spiritually inspiring way in 3 minutes or less. So I don't know if I'll stick to it. I'll do my best, but, you know, fasten your seatbelts. Ever since I was a little kid, music was to me as necessary as food or as air. It was just part of what drove me in life. And in my 6th grade music class at my public school, they showed us the orchestra instruments. And I saw a viola, which is like a big violin. It's a stringed instrument in the orchestra. And that was it. I was gone. Hook, line, and sinker, totally in love, knew what I was going to do with my life. So one of the things to know that was happening at that time in my life was I was raised in an alcoholic family, which is, as I'm sure many of you have some experience with, a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit stressful, chaotic, and very financially constrained. And somehow, despite this, I got the lessons. I got the instrument. I got the ability to go to those camps. So I really got what I needed such that I was able to get into music school. But also had some bumps in the road there, had to leave school twice because my parents couldn't afford to keep me there. And one of the things, and I eventually figured out how to support myself and get myself through school. One of the bumps, which was a positive bump, was that my father actually entered a treatment program during that time, and unless he's out at the bars tonight, which I highly doubt, he'll be celebrating his 34th anniversary of sobriety tomorrow. So by the time I got to my senior year of college, I had also auditioned for and won a job in New York. So I could see the finish line. I was there, I was going to get my degree, and I had a job. January, I got a call telling me that my mom, who was 46 years old at that time, was diagnosed as being terminally ill with lung cancer and had a matter of weeks to live. So in the last semester of my senior year, I spent a lot of time at home with her and the rest of my family caring for her, while preparing what's the most stressful event of your music school career, which is your senior recital, which is a concert where it's just you playing. So it's a pretty high pressure event. My mom died 6 days after my senior recital. Several weeks after that, I went to New York, only to find that the job that I had lined up was no longer there because the orchestra had lost funding and failed. I threw up my hands, I waved the white flag, I said, that's it. No more music for me. I've had it. It's too hard. The viola went in the case, and the case went in the closet and gathered dust for a number of years. Several years later, on a beautiful Sunday morning, much like today, I was at a bagel shop with my boyfriend. He had just come back from his Hawaiian vacation. He had this cool shirt, Hawaiian shirt on. And across the room, somebody said, "Hey, that's a really great shirt." And my boyfriend was all proud and said, "Yeah, thanks. I was in Hawaii." And he said, "No, not you. Your girlfriend." I'm like, had to look down to, I'm not generally, this is about as dressed up as I get. I'm not generally one for appearances, so I had to look down, and what I discovered I was wearing was a plain gray sweatshirt. And on that sweatshirt was a single word, and the word was Juilliard, which is a very well-known music school. Turns out that this guy was a Juilliard grad and was a contractor, which is somebody who hired musicians for orchestras throughout the state. And he needed a viola player. So it's a good example of the hand of spirit coming in. But while I wasn't playing viola, I started a business career, which I became very serious about. I went back and got an MBA. I spent a decade or more in Silicon Valley, having a very serious career in the tech industry, and was offered literally the dream job of my career here in Seattle several years ago. And after moving up here and moving my life up here, not too long after that, about a year and a half ago, I found myself in the same situation where I no longer had that dream job. And I was in crisis again. I didn't know what I was going to do with my career. I didn't have my music. And it was at that time I started doing a lot of reading and a lot of searching. And an author that I wanted to hear speak, I was looking to see if he'd be speaking anywhere in the neighborhood. And he was speaking at this place called the Center for Spiritual Living, which I had never heard of before. And the moment I opened the website, I knew I had found my home. And I came here, and I swear to God, Kathy Ann was writing her talks for me personally. And I found classes to help me deepen my connection with spirit and practices like meditation and prayer. And I found a community of people like you, so many of you who have touched me and supported me. And I asked the question, you know, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And then I had a practitioner session with Karen Ramsey. And I was talking all about my career, you know, and she said, wouldn't you really rather be doing something like, I don't know, playing with the Seattle Symphony? Or at which point I completely broke down because she had pretty much outed me. Because truly, my heart's desire was to be the musician that I had always been. And shortly thereafter in a meditation, that was exactly the message I got, was be the musician that you are. And so since then, I've been, I started studying with a teacher who says I can do this. I've started I'm playing here in the talent show, and probably we'll do the angel service at the end of this month, doing the music for that. Met the executive director of the Seattle Symphony. So things have started to happen in a very quick way. But I just want to thank you all and let you know that this is the place, and you are the people who gave me back my music, and for that I'm profoundly grateful. Thank you so much.